And 72% of the time the market goes up. And the answer came to me. And that's when I developed my chart. The answer came to me is because, just like Caterpillar, when they pull their money out, you get out. Whoa.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Network.
Oh, God. Are you nuts?
With your host, Phil Grande.
Bye. And welcome. Thank you for joining my podcast. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, credit cards has ruined savings, right? And savings is important. It's the backbone of our country, savings. But savings has gone out of fashion. Banks don't even offer toasters anymore if you open an account. I remember my mother used to drag me down to every other bank to get a coaster, and she'd send them out for Christmas presents. But anyways, those were the days. Okay, so in 2000, the savings rate was 4 to 5%. We're at 2.7%. That's not good. Now, low savings has a lot of consequences. And we have more credit card use. Rates are 22 to 25 to 28%. So that means when you have higher interest, you have less spending. Less spending, that means wages slow up. Full-time gets cut to part-time. Part-time gets to no time. High yields, that's bad news. High yields, that means higher mortgage rates, higher car loans, everything else, school loans, everything else. So what happens to the economy when savings are slow? People stop spending. And that's not good because, remember, consumer spending is 70% of our economy. That's the last thing we want. So let's really put the crap aside and what's really destroying America's ability to save. One is Obamacare. That's right, Obamacare. Nobody talks about Obamacare. Now, that's one of the biggest problems is Obamacare. And here's why. Because of federal borrowing to subsidize Obamacare, which has been a total failure, a total experiment that's failed. Washington is borrowing right now, okay, between 6 and 14 billion every single day. What are you, nuts? This is insane. They're paying $3.5 billion in interest today, each day, $3.5 billion, just interest alone. Now, we borrow, our country, $432 billion in just July, just this past July, which equals $14 billion per day. And fiscal year 2026, the average pace, the U.S. is adding debt at $6.7 billion per day. Now, this is nuts. Over the past year, the national debt increased $6.4 billion per day. And what do they tell us? How the economy is doing terrific. Best economy we ever had. Daily interest, that cost alone is nuts. Even before new spending, just interest on existing debt is $3.5 billion per day. I mean, this is crazy. Obamacare is the biggest problem. It's sleight of hand. Now, families think Obamacare is cheap. Yeah, because they pay $100 a month in premiums instead of $600 for a single person. You pay about $150 instead of $1,700 per month for a family. Oh my God, people think it's wonderful. Obama and Pelosi, look what they did. They saved the world. That's nuts. No, you're not paying $600. So in other words, if you're sitting there saying, God, I'm only paying $100 a month. No, you're not. You're paying the $600 a month. If you said, oh, thank God, I'm only paying $1,700 for my family. I'm only paying $600. I got a big savings now. No, it's all BS. You're paying $1,700 per month if you have a family. If you're single, you're paying $600 a month. But they want you to believe if you have a family, you're not paying $1,700 a month. You're only paying $150 a month. And if you're single, you're not paying $600 a month. You're paying $100. All BS. They're just moving the cost somewhere else. Now, what happened is they're pretty clever. Obama and Pelosi decided that Washington would cover the difference between the $600 and $1,700 family cost. So in other words, you're a family of four. Obamacare, you have to pay $1,700 per month. But people think they're only paying $600 a month. No, you're paying $1,700. It's a bull-faced lie. Washington covers the difference between the $600 and $1,700 by borrowing. And think about it, and the federal borrowing drives mortgage rates up. So think about this. If you think, God, my family of four, we're only paying $1,700 per month, we love Obamacare, because I'm not paying $1,700 a month, I got a big break, I'm only paying $600 a month. And if you're a single guy or a single gal, and you say, oh, gee, I'm not paying $600 a month, Obama and Pelosi did me well, I'm only paying $100 a month. No, you're not. Here's what happens. You're paying the $1,700, you're paying the $600, but you're paying it in a different way. Mortgage rates have gone up because of Obamacare. Car loan rates have gone up because of Obamacare. This is how they get their money. This is how they get it. It's not free. They don't say, oh, we're going to cut $1,700 down to $1,600. You got to pay for that, but you're going to pay it through credit cards. Why do you think credit card interests are at 20%? What are you, nuts? This is how they masked it. This is all fraud. 20% credit card interest? Terrible inflation? Wage stagnation? No. You're not paying $600 instead of $1,700. You're paying $1,700, but you don't understand that because you don't see it. In fact, you don't feel the pain. And at one point, they were going to raise taxes on wages. They're going to move it up, I think, from 7.5% to 10%. They decided not to do that because then they said, well, Obama and Pelosi said, well, if we do that, if we raise the rate on wages, they'll connect that rate back to us, to Obamacare. But here's what we do. If we go out and borrow money, now it's just not Obamacare that's making all this stuff go up, but Obamacare is a big part of it. If we go out and borrow this money and subsidize to bring that $1,700 down to $1,700 down to $150 and the $600 down to $100, we'll borrow the money and we'll to take care of this to subsidize it. Everything will be fine. No, it's not, because no, you didn't get a break. You're not paying that $600 in reality. It's a shell game. You're still paying $1,700, but you're paying it through, instead of writing a check to Obamacare, you're writing more of a check on your mortgage interest. You're writing more of a check on your car payment interest. So, and your homeowner insurance is up 50% in 5 years, 90% over 10 years. But guess what? It's up 50% since 2014 when Obamacare went into effect. Your credit card is up 25%, the interest 20 to 25%. Your groceries up 30%, and your wages don't keep up. And that's because of Obamacare, because they have to go borrow to get you to subsidize that $1,700 down to $600. And everyone thinks they got a deal and love Obamacare. No, it's all fraud. It's BS. You're paying for it. You're not getting a discount from $1,700 to $600. You're paying your credit card 20%, 25%. And when you say, oh, groceries are up, gasoline, oh, that's because of oil. Yeah, sure it is. But it's also because of the money they have to borrow. Remember, they keep borrowing to subsidize Obamacare. Because if they didn't, there'd be no Obamacare. So Obamacare is all subsidy to reduce the price, to reduce the premiums. And that is added to the deficit pile. Now, I'm not saying it's just Obamacare that's causing all these deficits, but boy, it's a big part of it. And that borrowing to subsidize Obama premiums, again, is why we're seeing the cost of everything just going up and up and up. So in 2014, Obama and Pelosi realized Obamacare wouldn't work. It was too expensive. And as I said, the first thing they thought of to get the cost down was they would pay, okay, they would raise how much on withholding, tax withholding on your payroll. So they thought, I mean, back then it was 7.6%, still 7.6%. Now, the reason they decided not to do it, because they know if they moved it up to 10%, where they thought they would do it, to move to 10%, sorry, 9.8%, they knew that then Obamacare would be tied to that. It was because of Obamacare, withholding went up to 8 or 9%. They'd be mad. But today, Social Security, Medicare is still the same 7.6% as it was when Obamacare got started in 2014. So again, no one wants to talk about it. The worst thing that ever happened is when we had the votes to get rid of Obamacare, and it was, oh God, I can't think of his name. On the tip of my tongue. From Arizona, a senator from Arizona. Remember he was captured and he was in Hanoi for 5 years or what? Oh, what else is his name? Oh God, I can't think of his name. Isn't that awful? But anyways, so McCain, thank you. McCain was right there. If he voted, Obamacare would have been gone. But he was mad at Trump for saying that somebody that got shot down in a plane is a coward. And he held that against Trump. I would too. But not if I wouldn't hold the whole nation hostage. He could have broke this costly Obamacare. So, and you probably, well, why are we talking about Obamacare? Because Obamacare is what's underneath this bad economy that keeps dragging it down like quicksand. Nobody wants to talk about it. So, again, remember that there's a lot of stuff that's breaking right now. And all this stuff with Ukraine and all this stuff with Hormuz and who knows what's going on. I don't know what the truth is over there anymore. And every time something breaks, we have a big problem. And shipping slows right down. Stuff gets more expensive. Oil and gas keeps drifting higher. I think we're at $82 today. Oil again back up. This oil is going to hit $125 before this war is over, because he's going to have to do a full-fledged invasion of Iran. He's got to kill off the Guard. If he doesn't get rid of the Guard, there's going to be an atomic bomb. The next president will allow the atomic bomb to be created by Iran. No one's going to do what Trump did. Okay? No one's going to have the guts to do that. I don't think the vice president would have the guts to do what Trump's doing if he became the president. I don't think he has. Rubio would. Okay? But I don't think our vice president has the mettle to do what Trump did. But this is really hurting our economy. I mean, you know what's really going on? If you think of our stock market, the only stocks that are really doing well, because everything is just crazy right now, right? And everybody says, oh, tech's going down. Yeah, tech is getting crushed. AI is going to get crushed. But you know what's not getting crushed? Cloud stocks. And we've been in a couple of cloud stocks, and boy, are they doing well. And the cloud stocks, which are software stocks, and I'll see if I can get them up here for you, if I can find them quickly for you. Let's see here. I think I have them right here. our cloud stocks. Oh, here's one of them. Our CRM. That's one of our nice ones. That's a good one right there. And look at that. If you're looking at the chart with CRM, look how the stochastic is going up nicely. And when that stochastic's going up nicely like that, that's a reflection of the pricing going on inside today's candlestick. And so when you get a nice trend that continues like that, you know that you got a good stock. But those are the only ones right now in tech, WDAY, now, these are the ones you have to be in. Okay, that's about it. So it's sad that no one talks about all this money that we're borrowing, and especially for to subsidize Obamacare. That's ridiculous. I wish these guys would just stop arguing and put in something new to get rid of Obamacare. It would help us all. We wouldn't be paying 20% on our credit cards. We wouldn't be paying 7% on mortgages. I mean, all this cost is going up because we got to keep subsidizing Obamacare when there's no care. All right, that's it. So all have a nice weekend. I'll see you on Monday. philsgang.com. Check us out.